There's a new series on Apple Plus that just came out called Silo. The first 2 episodes are out. We're going to talk about the first one because that's the only one we watched.
It's not about farming. We'll tell you that right now. Not about farming.
Okay, so the new series, Silo, we just watched the first episode today. 2 episodes dropped on the premiere date, so it's going to be an ongoing series. I think there's 10 episodes total.
We both watched the trailer. The trailer looked completely lackluster, did not seem that interesting. But the first episode, you're like, there's so many questions.
They don't know if it's actually safe to go out. They don't know when it's going to be safe to go out. The people running the whole silo, you cannot question at all, like, why they're there. But the one interesting thing is, and this starts it off, is you are allowed to leave the silo at any time, but you aren't going to be able to come back in.
Yeah. There's no takesies backsies if you say, I want out.
That's what really pulled me in, though, because I was just looking at this whole little world, trying to figure out how does the silo inside work as like a whole commune, or how does it function?
And there's a lot of questions like, so everybody's on birth control because, you know, clearly they can't just be like reproducing like crazy. So everyone's on birth control, and then feel like they get like a lottery to decide who gets to produce. But then there's this like, you know, mysterious woman who's like some fertility queen. And she's like, I hear you guys are trying. You should talk to me because they don't want just anybody to reproduce. And you're not one of them. And so there's like so many questions about just like this whole fertility issue.
Yeah, you're like, who are you, crazy lady? Like, and whatnot. But they get a year to try to have a baby within that. But yeah, it's the whole lottery thing. So that pulled me in too. I was like, that's interesting, and it makes sense because if you're underground, there's only so much space. You can't just have everybody like reproducing, and there's got to be a limited supply of food that's coming in or like being grown. I would assume that they're all self-sufficient.
Well, I saw that they were growing food, so I'm assuming everything is on some of those levels.
I don't know, man. That just kind of pulled me in with, especially the pregnancy thing. You got Rashida Jones. What's her name in this movie? Is it Allison?
That rings a bell.
Rings a bell.
We'll call her Allison.
She and Holston are trying to have their baby and all this, and it goes over hundreds of days, and she just starts questioning everything because of that crazy lady like you were talking about.
The one thing that's kind of just like hindering this from being real is people would go so stir crazy in that place that I feel like just fighting and wars would just break out all the time.
Yeah.
Whatever they're putting in the water to keep people at peace, like, I want some of it.
I mean, you got to kind of think, though, if it's been 140 years, a lot of these people, or all of them, have been born in the silo and grew up in it, so they know nothing different. I mean, that doesn't make any difference. Like in our world, we're always killing each other and everything too. But also, the main lady who's running thing, kind of like the president or whatever, I would say, like she has 2 sheriffs on her, and she doesn't really want to go out and address the people because I think there is a fear that, you know, maybe she might get assassinated or something. But I don't know what they'd do if they did assassinate her anyway. So, but this whole thing kind of reminds me of like Fallout, the video game. It's kind of like they're all in that shelter, like in Fallout. So I think that's what really draws me into it a bit too. It's like, well, what's outside? And if they do go outside, is it all normal, or is it going to be like Fallout, like a huge wasteland, but a whole nother world that they get to explore? So I'm really curious to see as this season specifically progresses, and then if they do leave the silo, what happens? Or is it just the end of the series?
Well, man, isn't it a best-selling series, or is it just a best-selling book? I didn't even read the book. You know, all I saw was the trailer, so I'm just a little filled with a lot of questions.
I'm curious to see where the second episode goes, though, because the whole hard drive thing, and they call it a relic, which again reminds me of video game stuff too, because you find all these little documents, but it's a document they're not supposed to have, which is essentially, looks like a schematic of the entire place. And if their history is supposed to be wiped out, this would hint towards, you know, the beginnings of their little world that they live in, which they're not allowed to know about.
Let's make predictions.
Yeah.
on where this is going, since neither of us have read the book. What's your prediction of where this is going in the first season?
I feel like it might be okay outside, and that the whole silo people are just using this as an experiment. I don't think it's been 140 years, honestly. Like, that's where my mind's going. I don't think it's been 140 years. I also think that they're just running an experiment on the people in the silo, and there's people outside of the silo, like, just overseeing this this experiment and seeing how people will react alone in the silo. So I think that's where it's going to go.
So you think it's a Truman Show thing, where like it's a reality? It's a reality show. So I think it has been 140 years.
Okay.
I feel like it is kind of like Snowpiercer, where there's like classes, and I feel like outside there's an upper class of people who are benefiting somehow off of the people in the silo. Somehow. I don't quite know what that is yet. Yeah. Probably taking all their excrements and using it for biofuel. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. But it has been 140 years, and there's people outside. It's totally fine outside, and they're manipulating everything to keep everybody inside.
It's either that or the silo itself is really contaminating the world for them, and you have to destroy the silo in order to, make it more habitable outside. I don't know.
So it's like the whole condition where like mothers keep their kids sick to keep them.
But I'm going to throw this at you because we're just going to spoil some of this stuff because it's the first episode.
We can't spoil too much in the first episode. I mean, it's one episode.
That's what I figure.
Yeah. If you don't want to get spoilers, go somewhere else. Just kidding.
But Holston's wife, she says, I want to leave the silo. And so when they say that, it's against their rules, and they don't stop you, and they send you out to go be a cleaner. And the cleaner cleans the like window or the video camera that's filming the outside area. But when she decided to do that, she talked to Holston and said, when I go out there, if I come back and clean it, everything is fine. And I'm going to go over that hill and see what's beyond, the realm that they can see and stuff. So in the episode, she actually comes back and like cleans the lens off and then goes off and then dies. But the whole idea or thought is that the video screen isn't showing what's real, even the dead bodies that are out there. So is everything fine, or did she think it was fine and actually die?
I think it's fine, and they made it look like she died.
Yeah, it's just like in Running Man when Arnold Schwarzenegger was killing everybody, and they're like, man, we can't have him kill all the hunters and stuff. And then they digitally imposed him getting slammed into the spikes, and everyone's like, oh, man,
now we're going to have to pull up a Running Man clip.
Yeah, that's how I squeeze in my Arnold fandom in there. But I'm excited to see where it goes.
Are we rating this?
I don't know. Can we rate something that
I feel like we can rate it? It's one episode. We're not going to rate the whole series, obviously, but let's rate it based on where we think this is going. And it's how many levels in your silo. We got to be careful how we edit this silo. Otherwise,
that's what I was like, there's 70 floors.
We're not going to have a big silo.
We're in a different silo. It's a mini silo. So I think I'm going to go with 6 floors.
6 floors?
6 floors in my silo.
I'm going to base my rating on the fact that I was very pleasantly surprised. So I'm expecting good things. I'm going to give it 7 floors of the silo.
One step above me. We're almost neighbors.
Yeah. I mean, I can when I'm tap dancing, you're like do with a broom, like keep it down up there.
But if you want to come visit, you can just hit that slide with Sam and Frodo.
Yeah.
and come meet me.
I got to add one more thing to my prediction that I totally forgot about that we haven't even discussed. The engineer downstairs in the pits. She knows so much. She knows everything, I feel like.
Except for how to tighten a bolt. She loosened that thing. drove me nuts. She's cranking on that thing to the left. That thing's, she's just loosening it up. No wonder it doesn't work.
Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Everybody knows that.
I was in construction for a lot of years. And yeah, there are some reverse thread stuff.
Well, that could be a propane line. Could be a fuel line.
Yeah, like I said, there's some reverse thread stuff, but I don't know. It's a big old nut. Like, more than likely, it's a normal one where you crank it to the right. But I don't know. Maybe it was too tight and she needed it loosened. I don't know how this thing works.
Yeah.
But
oh, wait. I got to go back and look at this episode because I feel like that was an homage to the very famous photograph of the guy working on the machine with the giant wrench and the circle behind him. I feel like that's... Yep. I feel like that.
I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was an album cover for Dying Fetus.
I knew that. I'm actually wearing a Dying Fetus t-shirt today.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No, that's Def Leppard.
I mean, we can make it say it. You got the D there. See, now you don't have to go find the original photo. We can just put in a metal album cover.
There we go. Well, I say watch this.
Yeah, I do too. I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Till next time, peace.